Hello, thank you for tuning into my channel. This is Yema is me, and I am back with another video. Sorry if you hear my AC in the back. It is 91 degrees today in Charlotte. Okay, so I'm in my car, and yeah, it's hot. I have it on a level 2 fan. I don't feel like sweating here like I was last time. Okay, the title of this video is called Frenemy. And I've been seeing a lot of videos on Instagram for like since last month. Yeah, since last month, I would say like May and April, about frenemies and about love bombing as well. And was, I guess you would say, triggering me. It was causing me to remember this friendship that I had with a former woman, and how she was basically a friend of me, and she was love bombing too. People talk about that in like romantic relationships, but that also can be in platonic relationships. Okay, so you hear this term frenemy a lot, and the definition of frenemy from Merriam-Webster is a person who is or pretends to be a friend, but who is also in some ways an enemy or a rival. And a second definition I have is of love bombing. And I actually got this from fairfaxcounty.gov, which I was surprised to see this on the government website. But it says love bombing is a form of emotional abuse where an individual's intent on causing harm showers a new partner with excessive attention, affection, compliments, declarations of love to create a strong emotional connection and dependence, which leads to manipulation once that partner is attached. Okay, and that is definitely true. And people will love bomb you with gifts. In friendship, sometimes people could just buy you gifts, or if you guys are going out and you're going to a restaurant, they could just pay for your drink, pay for your meal. And you're just like, I just met this person. Like, why are you already buying my drink, buying my meal? And it is nice. It's not to say that people who do it all the time are disingenuous, but I do think that a lot of the times it is love bombing, and we need to be mindful of that. So if you initially meet somebody and you guys are getting to know each other as friends, and you guys go out and they're always paying for your drink and meal, I would say sometimes decline the offer. Because if you accept the offer, they're going to think that they have you in the palm of their hands. They can just persuade you and manipulate you to do whatever they want you to do. And you'll feel guilty, like, oh, this person does nice things for me. They buy me gifts, they buy me drinks, they buy me food. Let me just do this one thing for them. Then that one thing turns to 10 things, turns to 20, turns to 100. And you're like, oh my gosh, I didn't even realize that this person's been manipulating me with gifts. There was also a blog that I found just from a Google research. It's from AllisonMurphyMFT.com. I will leave these links down below in the description. But the blog states that love bombing is a narcissist way of manipulating you for their own personal gain. What it does is it gives them a boost of confidence and energy. What she also states is that they are reeling you in with their manipulation, and they thrive on us isolating you and making you a dependent friend. And what we don't realize once we meet these friends is that it's manipulation, and we're missing the red flags. And oftentimes we're missing those red flags because we're just excited to have a friend. Especially if you're somebody who you're, more to yourself, you're more shy. You're just like, okay, I have a friend. In my instance, like, I pray to God for friends. And sometimes when we meet these people and they're being kind and they're buying us things and doing nice gestures, we think, oh, this person is my answered prayer. No, they're not always your answered prayer. Just because you pray for something, and some, a person or a relationship comes to you, that does not always mean it's your answered prayer. That could be some type of test or some type of lesson. We have to use discernment in our relationships with people, especially in our friendships. Okay, and another trait that a fake friend has, sorry, I'm in the parking lot, is that you notice that these fake friends, they'll start giving you a whole bunch of compliments and praises. And that's just a way that they can just, I don't want to use another word, I don't want to use manipulate, but that's a way they can, alter your mind and make you think that they're trustworthy, that they're kind, they're loyal. They're just trying to reel you in. These people, in my opinion, looking at it from a spiritual standpoint, these people have some demonic energy on them. Seriously, that most relationships that you get in, you're just love bombing people. You have something off about you spiritually. Because why would you feel the need to do that? You're weird. But I know you see me looking to the right and stuff, but that's just because I have my notes. I write notes sometimes. So I want to talk about my experience with somebody who was a friend of me and somebody who was love bombing me. This was a coworker that I met in the emergency room, because I do emergency room patient registration. And I've heard of her a lot, when I was at work and see her on the assignment sheet, but we were talking and she invited me out one night and, we hit it out. We hit it off and we would text each other and, sometimes too, I would initiate text, which I'm usually the person who initiates conversation first. And that's not a good thing, especially in relationships. And I remember one time, like after us going out numerous times, she asked me out and I decided to go, and I met up with her and her friends. And it was like a smaller group of friends. It wasn't everybody. And she said this comment that I won't forget. She said, yeah, I was just asking my different friends and asking them if they wanted to go out, and everybody was telling me no. And I thought, let me just ask Asha. I know she never does anything. And her other friends, they looked and they got quiet and they raised their eyebrows, with a shocked look on their face. And I said to her, why would you say that? And she started laughing. Oh, I'm just joking. When somebody makes a nasty remark about you like that and they laugh afterwards, they're not joking. They really mean it. They're just trying to make you, I guess, more comfortable and make you believe that it's not anything serious. But it is something serious. Like those little remarks, it shows how that person truly feels about you. Another thing that she would do is when I would invite her to go out, and I would say like, okay, let's go to the movies, or you want to go to this event, and she'll be like, oh no, I don't want to go, I already went with a friend, but you should definitely go. And it didn't happen once, it didn't happen twice, it happened more than several times. And it's like, damn, when you ask me to go out, I go out with you 9 times out of 10. But when I ask you to go out, you don't want to go out. You only want to go do what you want to do. You never want to do what I want to do. And that would irritate me. And I remember I would tell my mom and my sister, and they were like, yeah, that's a bad trait that person has. Like, they don't want to, it's like they don't want to hang out with you. And I always felt as though she didn't want to hang out with me, but she would want to hang out with her other friends. And I'll be like, dang, like 3-4 weeks have gone on, we haven't hung out. And I'm like, I know she has other friends. She talks to me about all these other friends she has. And I know she goes out, but she hasn't contacted me. And I feel like she's acting funny. And when I told my mom was like, well, if you feel like she's acting funny, she probably is. And she was like, one thing about me is I hate to poke behind people. That was something that my mom would say all the time. She's like, I don't like walking behind people like a dog with their tail in between their legs. I just like to hang out with people. I only want to hang out with people who want to hang out with me, who are interested in me and care about me. If I notice that you don't care about me, my mom was like, I'll just, I won't hang out with you like that no more. And so this was like a buildup of things. And for me, sometimes I can be a little slow to react in relationships, friendships, but sometimes I'm not. But I've noticed, like, in the past, the problems I've had in friendships, and so I've been working on that. And with that former friend, some things I did in those previous friendships I didn't bring to the current friendship, but there were some traits that I was carrying and some behaviors I was still doing. So I was just like, okay, kind of like just tallying up the things that they did. But the last straw was when we went out and we went to a club or whatever, and then we went back to her house, and then we were talking, and we were talking about relationships and about dating, and she was like, oh yeah, I'm sure you don't even date, like, you just seem so quiet into yourself. And I was like, oh, it's a goal. It is, I said it's a goal, but it is a goal of mine for me to put myself out more with dating and get to know some people. But I am a shy person. This is something that I have to get through. And then she was like, then she just decided to just tell me all the bad traits about me, all the just all the bad traits about me, everything that I was doing wrong in my romantic life. And she was just going in on me. It was just, sorry, my phone's ringing in the background, but she was just going in on me. She was saying like, you don't do this, you don't do that, you're not going to find anyone, and you're going to be alone. And I mean, I do think it's important to befriend people who are going to be honest with you and want the best for you. But there's a difference between you being honest with me and you just dogging me out. Like, this woman dogged me out for like 10 minutes. And I was just looking at her, and I was just quiet. And I was just thinking to myself, oh my gosh, like, you hate me. You cannot stand me because you are just going in on me for 10 minutes. And you're talking about the things that you're doing good and all the things that I'm doing bad. And then after that, I didn't really have much to say. And she was like, oh, well, it's getting late, and, I have to get up in the morning. But it was good hanging out with you. And I was like, oh, yeah, it was good, hanging out with you. You enjoy the rest of your day. And she opened the door, and, I left. And I was just like, oh, my gosh. That person's intention was just to break me down, break down my self-esteem, and make me feel inadequate. And I truly do believe that's a reflection of her. That's how she was feeling about herself, and maybe somebody else made her feel that way that day. So instead of her sticking up to them, she decides that she's going to take out her frustrations on me. But I don't remember that. Me and her, we honestly stopped talking like that summer of 2023. I know I had texted her January of 2024 for her birthday to wish her a happy birthday, even though she didn't text me summer of 2023 for my birthday. And I just texted her just to tell her happy birthday, just, to show that I don't have any malice or ill intent towards you, I'm cool off that. And she said thank you. And then when my birthday came, she didn't say happy birthday to me. And I was like, okay, well, I knew after that conversation we had in her home that we were not friends. I really could not trust her, and really that friendship was going to be over. And honestly, that's sometimes the best thing for you to do. Do not reach out to that person. When somebody talks to you like that, don't reach out to them again. I know it's not good for us to be cutting people off. Psychologists have said that. But if you talk to somebody like that, and you treat somebody like that, you don't care about that person. You don't want that person to be your friend. So I would say, do not call them or text them or initiate it. And if they don't call or text you, then you damn sure know they are not your friend and they do not care about you. But I just wanted to give my experience on frenemies and love bombing and friendships. Maybe you have gone through something similar. I noticed that a lot of young women in their 20s and 30s been talking about this on different social media accounts, and there's definitely, you can tell we definitely live in patriarchal societies with this like with these poor female friendships. But I just want to say thank you for tuning into my channel. I know I haven't posted a video in a while, but I'm grateful for you guys tuning in, and I hope you enjoy the video. Please rate, share, and subscribe. Thank you.